I'd like to begin by saying I was a bit hesitant to accept the invitation to speak tonight because it's Visionaries of the Arts District. And though I'm honored to be included in that, I'm a bit humbled by the people that I'm sharing the stage with. So hats off to all of you. I'll begin tonight and talk a little bit about myself, where I've been, my history here, talk a little bit about the Greener Block project, and then go into what I think some of the future might hold for downtown Las Vegas. So to start, I was born, raised, and educated in Las Vegas. Never found a good reason to leave. Love it here. My parents also grew up here. My grandparents, one grandfather worked at the test site, the other one worked at Nellis. And I have a great love and affinity for this city. I grew up on the outskirts of town, or at least what used to be Charleston and Buffalo. And my love for downtown started at a very young age. My dad worked for a little business called Valley Van Works, which was at Main and Gas. And that's where my love affair with the city started. I've always been enamored with, the energy and the history that downtown encapsulates. I mean, it's an amazing little area that I've just fallen in love with, this energy. And used to spend times, I have vivid memories of begging my parents to go down to Fremont Street so I could see Vegas Vic and Vegas Vicky. My love affair was renewed when I got accepted to the LVA and went there for art. And I fell in love with kind of the walkability and scale of the city. I spent a lot of my lunch breaks going to places like Uncle Joe's, going to places like, the downtown cafes that are now Container Park and Eat. And, being downtown, I was also kind of, put in front of the homeless population and all the issues that downtown faces. There's a lot of issues that we face here. There's homelessness, problems with drugs, prostitution. And that, kind of gave me a realistic view of what Las Vegas has and some of the issues that we have to deal with. Fast forward several years, I've been involved in downtown, and I got involved with a group called Green Jelly. And the members of this group put together their heads, and we decided to do a project called Build a Greener Block. And Build a Greener Block, the idea behind it was to take a section of Main Street and for one weekend turn it into a really vibrant part of our community. For one day, we wanted to take that section of Main Street and show you what it could become and what we wanted, our Las Vegas to look like. I'm not bright enough to fully understand the reasons why it worked. I'm sure there's a college professor somewhere that's, written an abstract that'll tell you exactly why it happened. I'm not that guy. I'll just share my own thoughts and hope I either dazzle you with brilliance or baffle you with bullshit. The idea behind Build a Greener Block, this took 5 weeks from idea inception to fruition, which is rapid. And we raised over $15,000 in a very short amount of time. And what it showed me was the value of engaging the community. We looked at, what was there, and we talked to the community about what they wanted. And I think one of the important parts is we listened. We let the community tell us what they wanted to see and what they wanted their downtown to become. We actively solicited and kind of engaged in meetings and encouraged discourse, and there was a lot of discourse. But we took the ideas and we dissected them and we smashed them and we merged them in the effort to create even better ideas. And the important part is because we were all involved in deciding what Build a Greener Block looked like, and we were also personally invested in its development, either through donations or sweat equity, and most often both, we were all aligned in its success. And that's one of the reasons I think the event worked so well. What happened was pretty magical. And for those of you in this room that were fortunate enough to be a part of it, I think you'd agree with that statement. It was really enlightening and pretty endearing to see how the community came together and catalyzed to make this project come together and work. And most of you familiar, you've heard about Indiegogo a few times. I'm sure you're familiar with crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. What I'm going to ask you to do is take kind of a leap of faith here, because Build a Greener Block was done through crowdfunding. And I want you to take a little mental leap with me now and say, what if that's the way real estate development was done? What if instead of an investor taking a piece of property and developing it and turning it into what they see and they want it to become, what if we were the ones that got to do that? And so there's a couple ideas right now that are scratching the surface. There's one that is called Bristol Rising. This is their website. And it talks about, it basically gives the community the ability to go onto a website and click and vote on what they think are good ideas. There's another site called Fundrise that goes in the opposite direction. So one crowdsources ideas, Fundrise crowdfunds, But there's kind of a disjointedness between these two, and I think there's going to be real magic when you can take these two and marry them together. Imagine being able to not only decide what goes into your community and choose what goes there, but then also be personally invested in its success and see real financial returns as a result of that. So I'm probably going to leave you with more questions than answers tonight. And I'm going to leave you with one quote. There's a fine line between being wrong and being visionary. Unfortunately, you have to be visionary to see it. I'm still not sure what side of the line I fall on. Thank you, guys.